You're watching Mental Health with Marcie, and I'm Marcie. In today's video, we're going to talk about mood tracking. And is it really worth it? We'll get to that later on. But first of all, let's talk about what is mood tracking. And so, in its simplest form, mood tracking is really logging, how you're feeling over the course of a day, over time, of course, and then doing that including different external factors, things that might be impacting your mood. And so the reason to really log your feelings and, anything that might be impacting it can be for various number of reasons. So for example, if you struggle with a mental health condition, sometimes it can be helpful to really see over time, how am I doing? Am I doing well? For different particular disorders, mood disorders, it's good to see, what your mood is like and, how it's fluctuating over time. And so another reason you might use it is if you are changing a medication or if you are just wanting to see how you're doing. So that's what mood tracking is in and of itself. In a nutshell, that's what I meant to say. It's like the middle of the night, so I think it's fine to be recording a video. That probably tells you what my mood is like. But in any case, that's what you might use it for. I will link down below to a more detailed article about mood tracking. And so this has a lot more resources about, what it is and also what we're going to talk about now, different ways to do it and links and whatnot. So feel free to check that out. Again, just a random article I found, but I thought it was a helpful article. So if you want more details and you want to read it, you can check out that below. But in any case, there's a ton of different ways people can track their moods. And it really all comes down to personal preference. And so there is, of course, the physical way. You can have a journal. People call it like a mood journal. And you can write down your moods and what was going on that day. You can have it color coded. That's another thing people like to do sometimes. Maybe in a mood chart, you can have color in whichever color indicates moods that you've set up. That's one way. You can also do an app or any kind of like online program that will track your moods. And so that will have sometimes number of features to be able to add details on your phone or computer and track and see statistics over time. And so it really just depends on what works best for you. In my opinion, I would choose something that, again, is something that fits into your lifestyle and also that you like to do or like can do. Maybe like is too strong of a word, but something that you can keep up with, because I would say that would be probably the number one barrier to mood tracking is just consistency and actually doing it. If you don't do it, it's not that helpful. If it's just a blank app, not that helpful. Not very much information there. But yeah, I would say I can share a little bit about my experiences. So the first time I ever started mood tracking was when I got on my first psychiatric medicine. And so I had never been on one before. And so I wanted to track the side effects. That was the main thing that I was trying to track. But then also I was trying to see if the medicine actually was working. And so over time, I would just write down in a journal. I would write the date. I would write what medicine I was on, what dosage and whatnot. And then I would track my mood and, anything else I felt relevant at the time. And so I would do that at the end of each day. That's just what I felt useful. I couldn't do it more than once. I think some people, or at least it's recommended, you might do it more than once during the day to see like over time how it fluctuates, because you can see how like at the end of the day versus the beginning, middle of the day, like you might have a different mood. I mean, but for me, it was only like possible to do it at the end of each day. And so I did that for a while. As I would change meds, I would like write that down so I could go back and I could really look, okay, I changed this med, like, did it make a difference? And then also I was able to bring that into my psychiatrist appointments and my therapist appointments to really report back, how am I doing? Like, do I think, we need to make a change in the meds, etc. So that's my first experience with mood tracking. And then eventually, as I kind of leveled out and changing medicine so often, I ended up stopping doing the mood tracking just because it was like one more thing to do. And so for me, my anxiety increases the more shit I have on my to-do list. And so to me, it was like, I don't really need to do this. Like, I'm on the same medicine for a little while anyway. Of course, that shit stopped. But um, being on, that kind of same course, I just was like, let's not do this. If this mood tracking is like making my anxiety worse, then it's not helping. It's just not a productive use of my time. And so that's something where I switched eventually, and actually picked up mood tracking again on an app. And so there's a ton of apps out there. I would say if you want to go this course, figure out what works for you. I would choose free, but that's just me because I don't want to pay money for anything. So totally up to you if you want to use like a fancy app that has like the paid features or whatnot. But I mean, what I'm using right now, the free version works just fine. So I am using Daylio, Daylio, and that's just the one I chose. It's been recommended to me by my psychiatrist and other people in my support group, so that's the only reason why I tried it. But I'm sure all the other apps work just the same and just as well. So pick whatever you like. Maybe try one out. If you don't like it, try a different one. So yeah, with Daylio, you're able to just add an entry for that day. You can go ahead and put your mood, and you can actually customize what those moods are. You can customize the colors. So if you don't want it to be a certain color scheme, you can change that. And then you can also add different activities and, just select those. And so because it's like already everything inputted there, you just have to like easily just click, as opposed to like writing the words out like, I went to support group. Like that takes a long time, to write out, but just to click the little buttons is pretty fast, I think. And then there's also a spot to like write, a note if you want to add more details of stuff not on there. And you're also able to edit and add activities. Like I added support group, psychiatrists, whatever else I added, who knows, a couple other things. And then you're also able to add a photo. I never add a photo, but you could, I guess. A photo of what? I don't know. Like, you're going to be like, smiling today, not smiling. Mine would all just be like, probably. I don't know, maybe like a photo of like hiking or something if you like enjoyed your hike, I guess. Don't know. I haven't done that, but it's there. So, and then also what I like is that you're able to see statistics, which again, I'm sure is the same with any app. And so like over time, how your mood has been working. Is it going up, going down, average daily mood, look at the calendar view, being able to see, what your mood is. And like, I like to use like the green, yellow, red, that kind of thing, because it just makes more sense to me, like red trending in a bad direction, green in a good direction. That just makes sense to my brain. But obviously there's tons of color coding people. Like if people want to use red for like angry or whatever, people can track their moods with different colors, whatever makes sense in your brain, or no colors at all, if that works better for you. But yeah, I just like having to be able to see the reporting functionality and really quantify a lot of this on the app. I mean, this is pretty recent in the last like couple months that I've started mood tracking again, and also the first time ever using an app. So we'll see over time how it goes. But I do like that they have reminders, and so I have it sets a daily reminder. I have it at 8 p.m. because that's like a time that I can typically do it, and it'll like keep the little smiley face or whatever icon if I don't fill it out. And so you can also do like the previous day or like another day if you like did miss a day, and like you do it in the the next morning or something. So I like that as well. But yeah, otherwise, let's get into it. Is this like well use of time? Should we even do mood tracking? Is it worth it? And so of course this is going to depend on your specific situation, but for me, I would say it's worth it if you are going through a change, particularly a change in medication. And so this is my personal opinion and my personal experience. Some people, they may never mood track in their life, right? They're like, this is dumb. Why do I need to like write my mood every day? And that's fine. That works for some people. Other people, they're like, I'm gonna mood track every day of my life. It doesn't matter. Their whole life will be will be tracked. And that's gonna work whether they're making a change in medication or not. Because of course, like not everything is like just medication based, but in my opinion, it has been helpful just to like see, you know, I always look at it like right before my psychiatrist appointments to see, okay, how many good days, how many bad days. And of course, that doesn't like indicate for sure, like, this is the meds that's causing it. Because of course, external factors, impact things, but it does like give you some sort of data point, right? Rather than like the day before, like, I'm feeling shitty. And so sometimes that's like, we have like whatever recency bias where it's like just the last little bit. You just like think everything has been like this the last little bit. And so having it over time really gives you that perspective. And so it also helps me see progress. And so, because for me, it's like, I'm like, oh, like, I still don't feel amazing. Like, I'm not jumping for joy, which I don't think I ever will. Because if I'm jumping for joy, I think we have like some other problems. But being able to actually look at my app and see I had whatever, like 18 days, what I'm calling meh days, the middle days, 18 of those in a row is actually kind of a big deal when like a lot of my days before were like bad or awful. And I'm like, oh, I actually had like all of these days in a row. And like every day since then, I think it's been more now, has been that way. And I'm like, that's actually a big improvement. And so, but like, I don't know that I would like recognize that as progress, because like it's like until I get to whatever the like 100%, which I mean, I don't know what that even means, but if, in my mind, until I'm like feeling amazing every single day, like I'm never gonna be like winning. In my mind, it's all a competition with myself, I guess. And so that's the problem. And then I'm like, well, then I'm not making any progress. But it's like, actually, no, I am making progress. And then being able to look at those weekly moods and see over time, like them increase. Again, it's not always going to be that way. And again, there's no green, like there's no good days, but we'll get there eventually, maybe, hopefully. And so that's just something that for me is helpful, again, to inform your professionals when you're really reporting back, like how you're doing, like, do we need to make a change here in our medication? And then also just recognizing progress or lack thereof, right? Like if you're like, didn't realize like how bad, you're like, oh wow, it's like been really bad going downhill for a while, then like, yeah, I do need to make a change in something, whether that is medication or lifestyle or, ask for help. It's just good to be able to quantify that. So do I know if I'm gonna stick with it forever? Don't know. Eventually, I'll probably stop, just knowing myself. But if you are considering mood tracking, I would say my number one recommendation is just to pick something super easy, like the least time consuming and something that you can actually do. Because if you like think whatever's like, this is this fancy way to do it, but like you actually never can do it because it's the barrier to entry is too high, then it's like useless in my opinion. And so for me, like I think it takes like less than a minute to go ahead, even typing the note. I don't even think it takes like a minute total to fill out the mood tracking app. So that's why it works for me. And also like I always have my phone with me. So it's not like I have to like get up to go. Again, that's like the main thing. Not that I would be like away from home of my journal. It's like that I have to get up from my bed to walk there. And so then I'm like, I don't want to do that. And then I don't do it. So being able to make it as easy as possible is going to be helpful. And then just whatever like you like to do. Like if you're a sticker person, like get smooth stickers, or like they make those like I had got originally like little smiley faces and stuff. And so like if you're a planner person or whatever, you like physical stuff, or you want a mood chart, like a potty chart, it's fine. We can enjoy stickers even into our grown adult years. So in any case, I do hope that you find whatever works for you, whether that is mood tracking or not. It has been helpful for me, but again, to each of their own, and um, everyone is different in what works for them. So, thank you so much for watching, and stay well, my friends.